Hi, today I'm doing a video blog on the truth behind my last two competitions. I'm going to go from the start so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. I could write all day long a blog, but I don't think you're ever really going to understand it quite as well. Plus it's a hell of a lot of stuff to write. So I started weight training in June 2013. I decided to do my first competition 5 months after. So I was competing in November 2013. I decided 4 weeks out from this competition that I was going to compete, which is complete insanity, to be honest. I was at about 16% body fat. I dropped down to about 7 by the time I got on stage in those 4 weeks. It nearly destroyed me. It killed me. I had never, ever, ever in my life been on a diet. I'd always been the one that would smash down 2 massive trifles, couple of shoe buns, and I'd go and play tennis for 3 hours, or I'd play hockey, or I'd go for a run, just to burn it off, just so I could eat it. I just wanted to eat loads of rubbish food. Never been a fan of diets, but I've never had to diet because I've done so much exercise. Obviously, in June when I started training, I wanted a six-pack. That was my whole aim. In order to get a six-pack, I had to go on a diet. So I went on this diet. It was extreme for those 4 weeks. It was mental. I was training 3 times a day. Never experienced anything like it in my life. You know, the stuff that your head goes through, craziness. You know, you're putting your body under massive pressure, doing all this training. It kills. Anyway, got on stage. After that competition, I won it, and I was like, brilliant. Now I want a pro card. So I decided I was going to do the WBFF the next year, and I did Miami Pro to start with because it was a similar type of competition to the WBFF. So from after I competed in November, I obviously had never been on such an extreme diet, so I went and smashed down as many Krispy Kreme donuts and cookies as I possibly could, and I did this for about 4 weeks. I put on 14 kilos. Yeah, it was a massive weight gain, and as a result I got really sick. I was in bed for 2 weeks. I didn't train for 4 weeks. Anyway, so then I started eating clean again, and I was getting ready for Miami Pro. In this time, you know what? I had a posing coach, which literally destroyed me. I basically went to Miami Pro feeling like I was never going to be good enough, that I had no stage presence, that there was nowhere on this earth that I was ever going to place. To say that obviously my confidence was destroyed is an understatement. It was ridiculous. My coach, if it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't have done Miami Pro. There's no way. He believed in me. It was like, stop listening, and just go and do what you got to do. So anyway, I did do Miami Pro. I got first and 2 second places, which to be honest I was shocked at. But as a result of me completely losing my confidence before I went in it, on the day, obviously I didn't really drink. On the day, I'd smashed down a whole bottle of wine before I even got on the stage. I was so drunk. I'm surprised I could actually stand up on stage. But for me, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been getting on stage. It's madness. I've not had a drink since at my competitions because, God, the way I felt that day, it was awful. So after that, I kind of regained my confidence a bit. I was like, okay, I'm going to do the WBFF. Did the Danish Championships, and I got a 3rd and 4th place. At that point, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I'd put it's not just the competing. I put my body through hell. My head was all over the place. And when I finished Danish Championships, I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get the pro card. But you know what? It is what it is. And I went home and I cried and I cried. I was devastated. And it wasn't just the fact that I didn't get the pro card. It was the fact that I put my business at risk. I couldn't take as many orders on because I was training 3 times a day. I was killing myself and my head was gone. Like, when you drop your body fat that low, you can't concentrate, you can't focus on stuff. You know, I run a business. I had to send my invoices. I was having to send emails. I was having to check everything over and over again before I sent it out. At this point, I thought, God, I wish I worked for someone. You know, it would be easier if I worked for something. But, you know, this is my business on the line here. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to compete again. But, obviously, the European Championships was 3 weeks after. So I did it. And at this point, I'd done everything in my power. I got on that stage 3% leaner than I was in Denmark, And you know what? I placed third. Now everyone's like, third place? That's amazing. For me, it wasn't. I was devastated. But you know what? I wasn't as devastated as I was in Denmark, because I realised that I can't put everything into it. I've got to run a business, you know. I need to make money. Competing's so expensive. The diet's expensive. The whole lifestyle is expensive. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't go out. But the costs involved in eating clean, you know, getting your protein, your supplements, it's ridiculous. So I wasn't going to compete again this year. But I decided, obviously, WBFF obviously wasn't for me. It wasn't a federation. To be honest, I was so much bigger than the other girls, but I didn't want to go up to figure because I didn't want to be that big. So I switched to UKBFF, and there was a competition in September. Well, I shouldn't have done that. But I wanted to prove that I could switch federations. So I said to everyone, my body just stopped working. It wasn't happening for me and everything else. Lies. Absolute lies. You know, on social media, everything's really positive. All my posts, if you follow me, it's like, you know, probably 99% positive. That kind of keeps me going. I don't want to be negative because that just brings me down, brings everyone else down. I was going through hell. But how do I think I'm going to drop the body fat if every time I open my fridge and there's a kilo of peanut butter there, I'm eating it? I didn't just eat peanut butter. I literally ate a kilo of peanut butter within about 5 days. And then, not just that, I opened up the coconut oil. Well, I was spooning the coconut oil out and I was eating it. Now you're like, oh, well, I just thought, oh, it's clean food. I can eat it, it'll be fine. Of course it wasn't. I didn't drop the fat. I got on stage and I was probably in the worst shape that I've ever been when I got on stage. To be honest, I looked at those girls before I went on stage and I was ready to pull out there and then, because I thought there's no one on earth I'm placing against these girls right now. Anyway, I came second. I was shocked, genuinely shocked. Obviously really happy because I knew that I hadn't done everything I could when I got on that stage. So I said if I came second that I wouldn't do the British Championships. So I was like, great, I've come second, so I don't have to do the British Championships. So I was really happy. Then I thought, okay, I'll just do it. Let's end the year with a bang. And so obviously the same thing happened. I was like, yeah, I've got 3 weeks. From Denmark to London, I dropped like 3% body fat, probably just over. I thought, yeah, easy, I can get on stage, really shredded. I can look way better than I did at this, at the qualifier. Of course not. My head was gone. I was moving house. I was stressed out, you know, all through my prep. From the beginning of the year, I was with an alcoholic. No one knows that. I was prepping, I was running my business, I was with an alcoholic, and it was a complete nightmare. Well, now I had to move out of his house, and prep. So with the added stress, of course I wasn't going to drop the fat. And then, you know what, I wasn't dropping the fat, so then I started binging. Well, obviously the peanut butter, that got smashed to bits. Coconut oil, that got smashed to bits. Even though I was eating white fish and broccoli, drastic measures, I then started eating and eating. It was never going to happen. But, you know what, that's the truth. Not many people will make excuses, go, oh, I just couldn't drop the fat, my body stopped working. My body didn't stop working, I stopped working. I don't know how I expected to come in really shredded if I was eating cookies and peanut butter and coconut oil. I was smashing down those fats. But you know what? I'm glad I did it, because now I know what I need to do for 2015, and I'm ready to go.